Motivated Monday is what I like to call it. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if we can continue this momentum for the rest of the week. Now, it's important to note we got a major date coming up in 1 day and 24 hours, which is the FOMC meeting. So y'all already know how this go. If you've been following my channel or just following financial markets for the last 2 to 3 years, we always have these I like to call hype moments, and even in some cases, exit liquidity pumps leading up to the FOMC meeting. So, what I've been personally paying attention to, and I dropped the weekly post in the Patreon. If you want to know more about my way of thinking, make sure you check out the Patreon. But I'm again going to wait to confirm or not confirm some of the signals that we get from Jerome Powell. This is a huge meeting from Jerome Powell because I believe that this may be his last meeting. And let me know in the comments who you truly believe is going to be the next Fed chair. So it makes sense for the next Fed chair to come in hawkish, because if the next Fed chair comes in bullish, then he just looks like a tool for money printing. So, guys, I know we tend to think, oh, Trump is president, we're going to get a dovish Fed. It's probably a good chance we get in hawkish Fed. And again, let me know in the comments. I don't think that this move is going to continue its momentum headed into the FOMC meeting, because we need to watch big dog Jerome Powell's posture. And if he says, hey, no cuts for the rest of the year, or maybe one, or we're going to do two. So it's important to note we'll have to pay attention to that language, break down the hidden terms behind the terms. But we still have this geopolitical tension. Things are starting to slow down, right? I believe I seen a post where they said 92% of the activity has slowed down. The negative activity has slowed down over there. So that's actually a good, point. But, things are still happening, and this could still affect financial markets. So I want everybody to understand that we're not out of the, woods yet, but this is always a good time to, assess how much risk you can take on. And if you do have a solid financial situation, history has shown whenever there's geopolitical tension, it's always been the best time to build out your portfolios. And the reason why I'm pointing to this, and why I'm, you guys know I'm very, very bullish on Bittensor. You can see here we have data centers under construction in the United States. So the number of data centers are currently rising, right? So whatever number of data centers you may have seen in your city, you may be getting more. And this is going to provide opportunities from a physical perspective. I just dropped a Patreon post for the higher tiers of something that we were able to identify as far as a new constraint. And guys, right now, like, these data centers are going to require a lot of copper. And even though, copper is something, I guess, it's abundant, all right, we can't keep up with mining the copper to keep up with the how fast artificial intelligence is scaling from a physical perspective. So Earth itself has become a constraint. And when you see all of these data centers, under construction, this should make you even more bullish for something like Subnet 3, which is a decentralized alternative. So in short, what Subnet 3 has been able to do, Templar, they were able to train a model in the same realm as ChatGPT, Anthropic, and all of these other huge centralized entities without having a data center. So they were able to train a AI model that's just as good as Claude. And one of the first, whatever you want to call it, subnets, AI companies, whatever you want to call it, first to be able to accomplish that milestone without a data center. So you are seeing this explosion also from Bittensor. It's down 2.4, but it hit like almost $300 a day. And you gotta at some point you got to expect it to come across this resistance, especially once you see all of these, content creators and YouTubers that never mention Tao, right? They've never mentioned Tao. They only popped up when Tao put in the green candle. Also, pay attention to sentiment. And I'm a huge Bittensor fan. But I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to retest the 21-week moving average this week. Because usually a lot of that hype, and you can see us staring right here at the 618 at $300. It was literally at 298. A lot of that hype always comes at the latter stages of the move. So when you see a lot of the YouTubers talking about a token that's not doing well in your eyes, but they continue to have that conviction, those are the diamonds in the rough. Those are the gems. And don't get me wrong, you can hold on to something too long, but let's be honest. This is an obvious play, in my opinion, when you look at the narrative, the fact that this AI bubble, in my opinion, will continue to grow. And at some point, it's going to pop. But I think that we haven't achieved AGI, ASI. We're not in this world of singularity. Many people can convince you that we are. But we're just not there yet. But we're going to reach it. And it's going to requires so much compute, so much data, inference, that the opportunity here is obvious. But nothing goes up forever. There's going to be support. There's going to be resistance. There's going to be structure. It's not a secret why market makers and quantum tools and quantum intelligence uses this stuff. Guys, it works. Let's not overthink it. Keep it simple. I was always taught that. Keep it simple. So very excited of where Bittensor will go. But for people that may be feeling like they're missing out, this has similar tokenomics as Bitcoin and is sitting at like $280, guys. It's early. All right. We'll have more time. History says that markets usually don't pick up to about 3 months to a year after the midterms. So, which would put us right around October, November. It would put us right there smack again in the his 4-year historical cycle. That's why I'm so bullish on the cycle. Don't care if it goes up or down. Just being positioned in clear runways is what I like to call. When you know how the plane, when it's about to leave into the sky, moon off, it has a runway. In my opinion, infrastructure, artificial intelligence infrastructure is a clear runway. Historically, markets tend to struggle before midterms and then rally once uncertainty clears. In 17 of the last 19 midterm cycles, markets perform better in the 6 months after the election than the 6 months before. So we still have headwinds. We just had a negative GDP quarter, which everybody has been sweeping that under the rug. But this is more dangerous than most people admit. The market has been pricing in a soft landing for 18 months. One negative GDP print doesn't break the narrative. 2 consecutive ones does, which is a technical definition of what? Recession. So that's something to look at. We have had multiple months of the PMI expansion, which sounds bullish, but look at the composition. PMI expansion alongside oil at $100 and then losing 92,000 jobs with potential inflation back on the way. You see the prices and things going up. Let me know in the comments if things are starting to go up around you. I don't know if it ain't, I don't know what's going on, because I know gas around $350, $370. Companies' top lines look okay, but because input costs are higher, not because the demand is robust. We talked about the potential dynamic of the next Fed chairman. And also, we're seeing a lot of printing, which could bring back inflation. I don't know if you guys, how y'all feel about inflation coming back. But there's also been a lot of private credit stress. Not like emergency, oh my God, the bank's about to fail. No, just a little bit of cracks in private credit, a little bit of stress. So that is uncertainty, my friend. So as much as I want to be bullish, I want deep down, I believe that we're going to have more time to accumulate tokens that really matter. That's the whole gist of this video. We'll have more time to accumulate tokens that really matter. So I'm looking for those sweet spots. We haven't seen like a lot of the altcoins and Bitcoin retest like the 200 weekly. Like, if this is truly a 4-year cycle, which it could be, that means that we could possibly be in a bear market. And in my opinion, even though you're seeing some rallies from these altcoins, you go here to the total 3, and the total 3 is not much strength. We still have key moving averages that we haven't turned into support. And the ultimate RSI is still bearish. So, yes, over the course of time, if we look at things from a longer time frame, maybe a decade, it really doesn't matter when or what you consider on this charts, right? A buy is a buy if we're in the bear market, because 5 to 10 years from now, a lot of this stuff could be so inflated because of artificial intelligence itself. Right? And what have some of the elites told us? Hey, you got 3 to 5 years to make as much money as you can, because AI is going to change a lot of things. Whether you choose to believe it or not, we're already seeing some of the signs. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think is going to happen at the FOMC meeting. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you tend to look at things from a long-term perspective or short-term perspective? What constraints and bottlenecks have you been able to identify? Would love to know everybody's opinions. If you want to get real good, honest content out to a family member or friend, please share this video. Make sure you comment. And yeah, I just want to know how y'all feel. What's the sentiment out there, right? As a normie, as part of the crowd of retail, right? Are we starting to feel the heat in the? Does it feel like a recession or inflationary environment, or does this feel like an environment where you're getting abundance of liquidity? Everybody's perspective is different, but your perspective matters. Let me know in the comments. It's your boy Crypto Millie, and I'll see you the next one.